Want to invest in something that's almost as safe as hiding your money under the mattress, but way more profitable? We're about to uncover the secret world of U.S. government agency bonds, where safety meets opportunity. Today, we're diving into the world of U.S. government agency bonds. Now I know what you're thinking. Michael, that sounds about as exciting as watching grass grow. But hang on, understanding these bonds could be your ticket to financial stability without the drama of the stock market roller coaster. Let's break it down, shall we? Think of U.S. government agency bonds as loans to Uncle Sam's favorite cousins. These agencies work on important stuff like housing, farming, infrastructure, and education. They're not exactly the government, but they're pretty darn close. Here are some of the big players in the agency bond world. Fannie Mae, also known as the Federal National Mortgage Association; Freddie Mac, the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation; Ginnie Mae, which is the Government National Mortgage Association; the Federal Home Loan Bank; Federal Farm Credit Banks; and last but not least, the Tennessee Valley Authority, or TVA. It's like the Avengers of the bond world, each with their own superpower. Now, why should you care about these bonds? Well, they typically offer slightly higher yield than Treasury bonds with just a smidge more risk. It's like getting extra cheese on your pizza for just a few cents more. Who wouldn't want that? But here's the kicker. Agency bonds offer predictability. You know exactly when you're going to get paid and how much. It's like having a friend who always pays you back on time, down to the penny. Now that's reliability. A few years ago, my friend Sarah was looking for a safe investment for her retirement fund. She was tired of the stock market's wild swings and the poor rates her bank was giving her on CDs, and wanted to try something different, but wanted something stable. And I suggested agency bonds. At first she was skeptical, but she decided to give it a shot. Fast forward to today, and Sarah's investments have grown steadily, providing her with a reliable income stream. She even calls her agency bonds her financial comfort food, because they make her feel secure and satisfied. So if you're looking for stability, agency bonds might just be the new best friend for you. Now let's talk about a special type of agency bond that might just blow your mind. Agency zero coupon bonds. Let's say you're estimating you'll retire in 15 years. Well, zero coupon bonds might be your new best friend. Here's how it works. Let's say you want $25,000 to be available in 15 years. You could buy a 15-year zero coupon bond from the Tennessee Valley Authority today for a little under 50 cents on the dollar, 47 to be exact, for about $11,932 today, and boom, in 15 years, you've got $25,000. All other investments can go up and down between now and then, but you know exactly what you're getting. You're going to have $25,000 available to you in 15 years. That's comforting. The current yield to maturity on this type of bond is about 4.94%. Not too shabby for a guaranteed return, eh? And remember, you're locking in that rate for 15 years. It's like freezing today's price on your future. If you're finding this information helpful and not falling asleep, please give us a like and subscribe. It really does help us a lot. Now, let's address some common questions about agency bonds. First up, are they as safe as Treasury bonds? Well, they're not quite as safe, but they're pretty darn close. It's like comparing a fortress to a castle. Both are super secure, one's just a tiny bit more so. It would take an act of Congress for them to default. And as a real-world example, none of them defaulted or were at risk of default throughout the great financial crisis back in 2008, despite some of them being tied to the home mortgage industry, which was a major driving factor in the crisis. Another question I often get is, what happens if interest rates change? Well, if you're holding your bond to maturity, it doesn't matter. You'll still get your promised payout. It's like having an umbrella in a rainstorm. You stay dry no matter how hard it's pouring. However, one major difference with most agency bonds is their callability. The bonds can pay off early when interest rates decline, so you could be getting some of your money back in a lower interest rate environment. But not that zero coupon example I mentioned earlier. Most zero coupon agencies are non-callable. Here's a pro tip. Consider incorporating some agency bonds in your bond ladder. It's like diversifying your bond portfolio throughout time. You get a mix of current income and future payouts. It's the bond equivalent of having your cake and eating it too. Look out for future videos where we'll go into more details about how the bond ladder strategy works and how powerful it can really be. This is as good of a place as any to share a story about a customer that I once had where we used agency zeros in a ladder. First off, he was over the age of 70, and he was at the point where he needed to take required mandatory distributions from his IRA. So what we did is we laddered zero coupon agency bonds to come due every year in time for him to take his required mandatory distributions. We used agencies instead of treasuries for the increased yield. So we laddered 50 bonds in each year until that last year when all of his money had to be out of his IRA. And it took us about 3 weeks to do it, to fill each rung. But once we were done, it looked great. And so the first month, the bond market actually runs up. And he calls me. And he's all excited. Michael, we're doing great. I said, Dick, relax. It doesn't matter. He goes, what do you mean it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. The market can go up and the market can go down. You're still going to have your $50,000 available for your required distributions. Oh, okay. Well, no matter what the market does, I'm always going to have $50,000. Yep, no matter what. So another month goes by. Bond market goes up. Here he comes again. Michael, we're doing great. I know, but still, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. All we know is we bought at the right time. Not only have we accreted 2 additional months of interest since we put your ladder in place, but the market interest rates have actually come down. And if we were trying to set that ladder up today, it would cost us more money to do it. We would be getting a lower return. And needless to say, he figured it out. He understood now that what the market didn't matter. That every month he was going to have this chunk of money for him and his wife to do with what they pleased, and he was in a good place. So that's just a powerful real world example of how these bonds in a zero coupon agency ladder can be incredibly powerful. Here's a professional tip from my 30 years of experience as a bond trader. Always keep an eye on the spread between agency bonds and treasury bonds. In other words, that difference between the yield you're getting from a treasury and the yield you're getting from the agency bond. If the spread widens significantly, it might indicate a good buying opportunity. It's like getting an unexpected discount on your favorite brand. You don't question it, you just put it in your shopping cart. So are you ready to add some agency bonds to your investment mix? Remember, they offer a great balance of safety and returns, but with increased call risk. It's like getting the stability of a savings account with potentially better yields. Remember to always consult with a qualified financial professional before making investment decisions. Your financial situation is unique, and what works for one investor might not work for another. Just like your brother Ted's bacon and energy drink diet may not be right for you. The same goes for investing. Until next time, this is Michael O'Donnell saying, always think of bonds if you're looking for an investment where you know exactly what you're going to get and when you're going to get it. Nothing better than getting a phone call while you're recording a video. That's not terrible. I think that'll work. You got some junk in there, but somebody's lips and mouth are not working so well today. Always consult with a Wow, what in the world is wrong with my mouth? God willing, I hit record this time. Yes!